Hi allemaal, welkom. Welcome back to another Onkruid video. Welcome back to another Soulstone Survivors video. Welcome to our hopefully final run with the Barbarian. By now I have figured out some insane builds. Critical Mastery as the runes, Adrenaline, Decapitator, and Multicast Mastery. That's the build I have been getting just victory after victory after victory with in terms of runes. In terms of abilities, weaponized abilities, the hotbar abilities, the active skills, it's been a combination of Flurry together with some other skills like Body Slam, Quick Strike, Savage Strike, Titan Slayer, those classics that we have been using previously. But something I also have been using a lot lately is like the Chaos Golem ability, or at least just like having one minion ability in there as well. You really cannot underestimate like the power of having some minions on the screen. These are 3 skills that we need. I think I will start with Savage Strike because it's such a nice early game skill. The power of having some minions on your screen because they act as a little diversion, as a little distraction for the lords. It means that they will not be that into killing you at all anymore. They will most of the time just let you do your thing, you know? And then the Flurry is still all about... yeah, sure, I'll go for some maximum health. The Flurry is still just all about applying a whole bunch of negative effects because you can't underestimate the damage of that either. There we go, Flurry already here, Relentless. A movement speed upgrade is gonna be nice for Quick Strike because we almost always get Quick Strike at the start. Of course, immediately start to get Frailty in there, some nice ticks. Also, can't underestimate the passive upgrade that makes you apply wounds. Because those wounds make... There we go, Chaos Golem. Those wounds make it so that the stacks that you apply, like the bleed, the burn, the poison, whatever you want, apply twice or have a large chance to apply twice. Don't really need any of these. Don't need any of these either. I will go for Subdue for now, but we might replace it in the future. Attack speed for Savage Strikes is fine because that will stay, and some area upgrades is always nice as well. 3 levels and then we will have fully completed the Barbarian's skill tree. It took some time. I played a lot off camera. I wouldn't say a lot, but I played some off camera. It's not like Path of Exile skill tree completion-esque type of deal. But it's also not like League of Legends leveling up. That's the lamest comparison in existence probably, but it's a comparison I came up with and it's my video, so you will have to row with that boat when I give it to you, you know? You don't have anything to say about my comedic prowess or my commentary. It's all on me. So if it sucks, well, too bad for you, bro, but that's just how I function. I take the movement speed upgrades so that I can take the Leviathan upgrades as well if they are of high enough rarity, but I try not to mess around with it way too much. I do not know if upgrading and then downgrading movement speed has an effect on the quick strike damage. I think I should check that out for science. If we find another movement speed upgrade or if we find another... Bloodlust is nice. Let's get rid of Subdue, or if you find another movement speed upgrade. But I guess another movement speed upgrade will definitely improve the damage, so that's not great for our scientific experiment. We are more looking for the movement speed slowers, which I think only Leviathan is an example of, right? And here we go. Here are the lords, and now you will see our build probably or hopefully shine, where we will already be dealing quite some damage to the lords because of the multicast. And as you can see here, that's 1 revive pop probably. Yeah, that's very bad. And additionally, they are not focusing us too much too often because of the Chaos Golems. That revive being popped really is quite sad, but I don't suspect it will be too big of a problem. I just need to make sure that I can dash out of situations a bit more quickly because I was really getting hammered there. 3.4 based on my movement speed, 3.75, 57 rather. So it does make a change immediately. That's now that I know that, I can test next time when we get Leviathan whether it also diminishes the damage immediately. No Leviathan here, but area of effect on our Bladestorm is definitely going to be nice. Look at the health bar of the Plague Bearer. Look at it disappear if you want to, and there it goes. You see, it's a damaging build. It definitely has some damage in there. It's not amazing yet because we are still missing a lot of upgrades, a lot of pieces of the puzzle, but it definitely has some juice. It definitely has some speed, some tempo. That's for sure. Let's go. 2.56, 2.46. So it does lower the damage on our quick strike. Alright, great to know. For science. I love exploring mechanics in games, you know. That's why... No, I don't have anything. I was gonna say something like that's why I make all these cows fuck in Minecraft, because I just love the mechanics and I'm not into that kind of shit in a fetish type of way at all. But that maybe goes a little bit too far, you know. There might be some children watching right now. Either way, I love exploring like niche little details. And one of my friends, Thomas, he recently pointed out that in my league video, I was, for example, talking about like, hey, if you look at Raven's stacks, you can already see that they pulled red and they started red. And he was like, damn, you're actually pretty knowledgeable about this thing called video games, right? And I definitely take some pride in that. I wouldn't call me like an expert on most games, but I definitely do try to be mindful, be aware of what's happening in the games, and try to make sure that I pick up a lot of details and a lot of mechanics and just a lot of information. I do love me some information, you know. Always love to learn. A couple of days ago, which is in reality like yesterday, I don't know why I said a couple of days ago, went to an entire study day about the interaction between gaming and psychology. It was very interesting. I might make a video on some of the, or some videos on some of the topics there, but the main gist I immediately want to give to you guys, I immediately want to inform you guys about, is that I loved how they were so focused on implementing other things into people's lives instead of like trying to get rid of the gaming behavior, because they realized that the gaming behavior provides a lot of benefits for people and that it probably is a very nice experience for them. Otherwise, why would they do it? Either way, they definitely realized that getting rid of the gaming behavior should not be your number one treatment goal, and I definitely agree with that. Another little snippet that they used is warning caregivers, caretakers, warning mental health personnel to make sure that we distinguish between passion and addiction. I think that was also a very, very powerful statement. And then the third really powerful statement I remember, there's a couple more of course. One other example is, for example, use your knowledge of gaming as a caregiver. Talk to them about gaming, ask them about their gaming habits, about how many hours they play, about which games they like to play, whether they like to play online games and stuff like that, whether they spend a lot of money on it, whatever you want. But the other statement that I will really, really remember, and I've forgotten it for a second, which is not amazing. What the hell is the other thing? I might come back to that later. Either way, it was an interesting day, but I think my brain is just fried a bit. I had a very, very long day as well. Spent my day seeing... I was supposed to see 9 clients, which is way too much. One person cancelled in time, turned into 8 clients, and I was like, okay, that's a bit more manageable. It's still a lot. Another person cancelled, turned into 7 clients. I'm like, yeah, okay, that's normal. And then another person had... Well, the other person that cancelled, the last one I mentioned, she had a little car accident, which is of course a very understandable reason to not get to your psychologist. And then the other person was like, yeah, I fell asleep and I have a big headache right now. And I was like, okay, I guess I will see you next week then. And I have this policy of not making people pay money the first time they forget, but afterwards they are gonna have to pay money. I can still afford to do it right now because, well, I am still in kind of a flexible system where I only have to pay my boss if I actually see clients. So not seeing clients means not paying. But in the future, I will have to pay for the hours that I can actually use the office space. So if people don't show up, I will show up. I will definitely have to be like more active. I will have to be more focused on the financial side of things and definitely have them pay, because otherwise it will just not work out for me anymore. I will have to give away more than I actually receive. I'm about to like beat myself up for not knowing the final thing that I really wanted to say about the gaming day. But I really have no idea. My brain is just like completely shitting the bed. Call me Amber Heard in a court case. Yeah, we've been watching a lot of Suits again lately. Talking about court cases as reminded me. It's such... oh, there's a second revive. It's such an amazing show. It keeps being entertaining for us. Definitely for me, but I think my girlfriend is definitely also still enjoying it quite a lot. It doesn't get old. We are in the season, big spoiler alert, we are in the season 6. Again, I'll say it one more time, a big spoiler alert, so if you're into Suits, just skip 10 seconds into the future, because I will only spoil just like a very small part of it, but it is... am I dying? But it is still a big spoiler alert, I am dying. The season where Mike is in prison. It's weird to see him in prison, to say the least. Like, normally the context is so uniform, it's always just like in the law firm and the surroundings, but now it's a completely new surrounding with completely new characters, and I absolutely love some of the characters they have introduced already in this season. Spoilers are definitely over now, by the way, so don't worry about it at all. I need like a lot of XP to level up, or some healing crystals, because I don't want to get into more trouble. We have so many movement speed upgrades, and still I am too slow to actually efficiently dodge. I think it's more of like being mentally too slow this time around, though, than actually my character being too slow. I moved straight into those projectiles. I want to finish it off this video. I want to finish it off, but we need to do our build a bit better, and we need to focus up a little bit more. Followed a workshop in that day also about gaming and autism spectrum disorder, which was very interesting. Followed a workshop on caregiver techniques, mental health professional techniques for people with gaming addiction. I definitely still need to look into that a bit more though, because they really went a bit too fast. That's the only thing I disliked about the day. There were two things actually. That workshop went a little bit too fast, and a little bit like it stayed on the surface. It just showed us a bunch of sources to get information about how to treat internet gaming disorder. That's the third thing I wanted to say about internet gaming disorder. But it didn't actually have us practice with anything. The thing I wanted to say was that it's a spectrum. It's a spectrum. It's not automatically like, hey, this person is addicted to gaming because he games a lot. No, there's also risk behavior. There's also just like a behavior that comes close to a disorder, but doesn't immediately have to be pathologized as such. And then the other thing I disliked about today, I'm sorry about saying so many things at once or saying so many things at the same time, but I am trying to finish all the thoughts that I start this episode. The other thing I disliked about today a little bit was the speech, the talk on esports. It was interesting, sure, but it was definitely like a lot of information that people that were a little bit into gaming already knew about, and I am a little bit into gaming. The day in general definitely made me rekindled my love for the interaction between video games and psychology. Something I know I want to get into later in life, but it definitely made me realize that I have to get into it like right now already, because there's already career opportunities. One thing I was thinking about, for example, is like thinking up or like making, let's go for frenzied bunnies instead of the chaos golem this time, making like a little package or something, if you will, a little guide or a little collection of resources that I can then use to, it's just like a thought that popped into my head. For example, organize some group sessions for esports teams to make sure that their mental health is like a topic that can exist, a topic that isn't shied away from. I think that's a very important part of the world of esports, of the world of gaming, and I think that it's definitely going to be something that people will be interested in. I hope that I will be like one of the first people in Belgium or in the world to think about something like that. Maybe in Belgium, because in the world they will definitely, I think the professional esports teams will definitely already have like mental coaches as well, or like psychologists guiding them. I do believe that will be the case. I hope that's the case at least, especially because like people that play League of Legends for 12 hours a day, they will probably be psychotic. So you will definitely have to have a mental health professional on site to just immediately like inject them with antipsychotic drugs to have them lay low for the rest of the day. A bit of satire in there. I can do that because it's my job, and I think other people can do it as well, because psychology, mental health, it's topics that jokes can exist. Topics that jokes can exist about. But I'm biased because, as you all know, as everybody that has watched this channel for more than once knows, I think that every topic is a topic that jokes should be allowed to exist about. Again, a piece of a meaning I noticed at the gaming workshop, at the gaming study day yesterday, not everybody necessarily agrees on. This person who was talking about esports was talking about how in her team, in her Discord server from her team, she was like the manager of a team, there was one person who made a joke about the Holocaust, and she immediately tried or said she wanted to defuse the situation. And I was like, I mean, I get it. Very touchy subject. So much suffering, so much atrocities. But for some people it might be coping, you know? It might be coping that they can't like make sense of something like that, something atrocious like that. How can a human do that to another? And maybe making jokes about it is like the only way for them to deal with it. But still, I understand that she was like, I'm not sure if this is just gonna be okay to let it slip. But then she was like, at least my teammates or the other people in the team immediately like sprang into action, jumped into action, and told that guy like, hey, this is maybe not okay, you should be a little bit more careful about this and you should educate yourself. And that's amazing. I think that's beautiful as well. But I think that jokes about the Holocaust, and I get it. It's a touchy subject I'm talking upon, and it's very ignorant maybe. Some people might find it ignorant, but I still think that they should be allowed to exist. I think that jokes about everything should be allowed to exist. As far as that's possible, because a lot of people will not find that possible. A lot of people will probably have clicked out of this video already because they think that I'm an absolutely raging lunatic. I know that it's a dangerous opinion, but as far as it's possible in such a case, still do it in like a tasteful manner. Don't just purely out of disrespect, or not even just don't purely out of disrespect, never do it out of disrespect. It's the same with racist humor. It's such a touchy subject, and a lot of people shy away from it immediately, and I understand it, I get it, because most of the time it also has such a history behind it. For example, like making jokes using the N-word as a white person. No, I don't think that's okay. I think that's too far. There are limits as well. But just like jokes about race, I think they have a time and place. And especially also about white people, about any type of ethnicity. And that's where I hope you will see that I am not just like a piece of shit or a racist myself. It's not necessarily about racism, because I definitely don't condone racism. I hate racism. I'm not a racist myself in the slightest. I definitely appreciate every single ethnicity out there. But my point was, yeah, that it's not about racism, my opinion. It's about humor. And those two subjects are completely separate from each other. And my opinions about humor are quite strong. My opinions on racism are, I think, not strong or not very different from the general opinion, in the sense that I definitely think that racism doesn't have a place in the 21st century anymore. It never had a place, of course, but I think that people that are still racist now, they just, I don't know what they are doing. And I get that some people might be listening to this and think I'm an extreme hypocrite, because I am so-called not a racist and I don't condone racism, and still I tell people like, hey, racist jokes should be okay. It's a difficult subject. It's a bit of a paradox. But then again, I'm a walking paradox. No, I'm not, you know? So I'm gonna leave it at that. It's a difficult subject to be honest about without getting some frowns, without getting some tomatoes thrown at me. Luckily, I'm not like live on a stage, but who knows, maybe in 10 years when I have 2 million subscribers, somebody will find this video and he will be like, sus opinions. Although, if I stay true to myself and I don't sell my soul, I think I will still stand by it. And again, just to emphasize it one more time, I don't condone or like racism, and I don't think racism is funny. But I think jokes about race, so therefore jokes that people might find racist, should sometimes be allowed, because I think that jokes about every single subject, as well as discussions or just talks, dialogues about every single subject, should also be allowed. And it would be, I think, even more of a hypocrite move to say that and then exclude topics like the Holocaust, like racism, like very touchy subjects. No, if you stand by such an opinion, you need to stand by it completely. Otherwise, you will just like, yeah, how can people know whether to trust what you say or not, you know? But enough about racism. I also feel like this is a subject we have touched upon multiple times on this channel already, and I do believe multiple times already as well while we were playing Soulstone Survivors. So maybe talk about something a bit more happy, about rainbows and butterflies. I think that's a bit more of an important topic to talk about. Tomorrow I have 6 clients, even though it's Saturday. It's going to be quite a busy Saturday. It is such a busy Saturday because, well, as I told you, yesterday I had to study about gaming, so I was not able to actually see any clients, and I sadly need to think about the financial side of things as well. 6 clients, 1 online, then 5 at my other workplace. I think it's gonna be a-okay, but right now I'm not looking like, whatchamacallit, I'm not dreading it, but I'm not like actively looking forward to it either at the moment, you feel me? It's just like, okay, I know tomorrow, once I get there, it's gonna be a-okay, because lately, in the last couple of weeks, to be completely frank with you, to be honest, the therapy sessions really have been going great. Not that I want to toot my own horn, or I think that I'm the most amazing therapist or psychologist, whatever you want to call it, out there, but they have been going swimmingly, so I know that once I started, it will all be a-okay. But getting there and starting, that's still gonna be a bit difficult. This was our fastest victory on this map ever. That's crazy. And I don't know if you noticed, but level 170. Skill tree. 1, 2, 3. Ah. Beautiful. Beautiful stuff. I sincerely hope that, like, that's it, but I'm scared. I'm scared that all of a sudden, after, like, investing a little bit into other skill trees, all of a sudden this will also get unlocked, and we will realize that we need to go to, like, level 200, but this looks very satisfying for now. Thank you very much for watching. I hope I didn't scare you with my opinions in this video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.